We on?
We're on.
Wait, I don't hear it.
Oh, I'm muted. Here we go.
I don't hear you.
What? Now?
I don't hear anything.
Because you turned your volume way down.
Yeah.
But you're the headphones that play it back always. You always end up with the mic that has the playback.
Because I'm a witch.
That's it. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm going to take you to the Labyrinth.
The movie? You want to take me to see the movie?
The store in Dallas, the witch store.
Haven't we been there? Are you talking about the purple building next to Trader Joe's?
I took you there like 10 years ago, probably.
I've been there.
By yourself?
Yeah.
You just go by yourself to the witch store?
Well, that's what you do.
I know.
You can't go on Sundays. They're closed on Sundays, which is inconvenient.
How many times have you been to the witch store?
Just a few times.
A few times?
I think probably 2.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
This week?
I haven't been since 2023.
Okay. Yeah. Time to go back.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. Amanda, Austin.
Yeah.
Are you ready to record our first episode of season 7?
I don't know. Are you?
I'm so ready.
Should we clap?
We should clap.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans.
This is Season 7, Episode 1, Skin in the Game, and Season 7, Episode 2, The Statue.
The only thing I didn't like about these 2 episodes is the name Skin in the Game.
Why? Because they pulled it directly from what Gretchen said to Donna?
No, I'm coming to terms with that. That's what they're going to be doing. It's that I never thought about how gross that term is. Skin in the game. Just like when I heard it and read it, I thought, ugh, I never thought about that. But I don't like that. I don't like that.
Because of like actual skin?
Yeah. Like imagine just skin playing a game. Like your skin.
Well, that's what our hands are when they do work, Maggie.
But your skin is on top of muscle and bone. Imagine just like your skin.
Yeah.
Like
I guess I'm having a hard time understanding. Are you thinking they're taking their skin off?
Yeah.
Like their face off?
Yeah, and I wasn't even thinking their face. I was thinking their body skin.
And then just little skeletons running around?
No, it's just the skin playing. The skin's in the game. It's not skeletons in the game. It's your skin in the game.
I think it might be interesting to say that we have a different point of view on what skin in the game is.
What is yours? It doesn't make you feel icky? What is yours?
What do you mean? What do
you imagine when someone says skin in the game?
Where
does that come from?
You're committed. Like, I don't know. Do you want me to look up where skin in the game came from?
Well, what do you think?
I hadn't thought about it.
You never think about it?
This literally has never kept me up at night.
It didn't until I saw it on the screen when we started this episode. That's, I think, why it was so troubling. Because I was like, skin in the game. And I was like, ugh, skin. How gross.
Let me look it up real quick.
Probably means that like you're so in the game you could lose a piece of your skin and still play.
The phrase skin in the game is commonly attributed to Warren Buffett, referring to the idea that high-ranking company insiders should invest their own money in the company they manage, signifying a personal stake in its success. However, the exact origin of the phrase is uncertain and may have roots in golf skins games played at IBM in the 1980s.
Golf skins games?
Yeah.
Like IBM.
Yeah.
So it's not about skin? What is skins?
So skins games? Is this like shirts and skins?
Oh.
Was there a topless IBM golf game?
Oh my, in the 80s?
In the 80s?
What a fun
Sounds like
company.
we just found the name of our episode. Topless
IBM
golf game?
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to get a lot of hits. People are always looking on podcast apps for topless IBM golf games, 1980s, top search terms.
Oh,
That's
well,
funny.
there's a bug. I just killed it with my hands.
Good for you.
Gross. All right. That's what it's from.
Thank you.
I don't know
for
how
that.
much of that I can put in there now.
It might all go. I wrote a brief,
Good.
and it's not about skin.
Okay.
Everyone is back to their old ways. Louis is back to screaming at associates. Donna is back to running things. Mike is back to doing shady things, but declaring it for the greater good. And Harvey is back in therapy, or at least inside his therapist. But wait, haven't these guys learned any lessons in the past 6 seasons? Turns out they have. Or at least Louis has, for now, with a slam dunk apology and self-reflection that would take home a bunch of Stanley Cup Super Bowl trophies.
That was funny.
That was funny. Mm-hmm. I can tell by the way you laughed at it.
Oh, you're being facetious? Sometimes I internally laugh. I'm a tough critic. Mm-hmm. I'm laughing.
You're laughing.
Yeah.
I can tell.
I audibly said that was funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I pulled it. That was good.
There were many times I used to just not say that.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Thank you. Thank you. I was proud of it.
Should we talk about what happens before the credits?
Yeah, we should.
Mm-hmm. Harvey is in a fancy convertible, and he is driving a stick shift in NYC straight to see his therapist to ask her out because he wanted to share all his progress with her instead of somebody else. Enough time has passed to make it ethical, and she agrees to one dinner. He says, if the car is too much, I can always have Ray drive. And then he like revs up the engine. She's like, I like the car. He's
I like the car.
What'd you say? She's like, I like the car. I'd like to go ahead and tell you that this actually is not ethical because Whitney, who is a psychologist, said that this is not ethical with the APA. And
Even after enough time.
But it hasn't been enough time. It's like 1 year is not enough time. Mm-hmm. Like it has to be multiple years. Like this is not ethical. And while they do not have a dual relationship, meaning like they're not also doing business together or anything, which is also not ethical, enough time has not passed. Somebody could report them and she could lose her license. So
it's real
she
bad.
is like gasping at this. She's like, this is not ethical, by the way.
Also, I was very shocked that this is who Harvey's driving to meet.
I figured you'd be shocked.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Of all the people?
Yeah.
He's
There's a
like,
couple of twists here early on in this episode.
Yeah. Like never. I mean, I wanted him to go back to therapy, but I didn't want him to go like in this way. Mm-hmm. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it isn't ethical too, because I was like, this is so yuck. Like, this is so yuck.
I know.
Then we see Mike. He goes to see Nathan because he said, come see me on Monday. And instead of coming back to work, which Nathan already has a case for him, Mike gives Nathan a $500,000 check. And he says, don't punish the clinic. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Because Nathan's upset because Mike has, again, lied.
Yes.
About what he's going to do.
Yeah. And then Donna tells Harvey that she wants to be a partner at the firm. Stops him in the lobby and says, you're late to work. Where you been? I want to be a partner. And she just wants a seat at the table. He's not sure if he's on board, but he's like, I'm going to ask. Let me talk to Louis. I won't forget about it. What was interesting is that he said, hang on, Donna. I know you said the other night you wanted more before you say anything. I wonder if he was, I've thought this every time I've seen it. I wonder if he was going to try and stop her from saying something like, I want more with you. Because he had just come from Paula, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like he was trying to get ahead of it, being like, hey, if you want more with me, I'm about to stick it in Paula.
I just need a couple more months to ruin this relationship.
Yeah,
and then
I'll come back to you.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a huge ask to be partner at a firm when you're not an attorney.
Yeah.
I was like, Donna.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
She goes from 0 to 100.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to.
Should we talk about, after we hear our favorite song, the Harvey and Paula first? Because it's the most upsetting, I think. Mm-hmm. So we see Harvey. He calls Paula again. He calls her Dr. Feelgood. And he's like, hey, I've been in a room full of models for an hour and I can't think of anyone but you. And she's like, that's great. Dinner's on. Mm-hmm.
Also, it's interesting. They just he has one quick call to her. I'm thinking of you instead of models. Don't cancel. And then that's it. Like, they're not really talking in between the dates.
Right. Yeah. They're not texting or.
No.
I guess you can't see that on
he can barely dial out. So the fact that he's able to call her is kind of
pretty
unbelievable.
impressive. Mm-hmm.
Harvey and Paula's date. Harvey is distracted. He's not listening. She recognizes that he is treating her like a therapist again, and that she has... And then she says she's fantasized about him too, but she just can't see him anymore because this is just unethical, and I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, he's clearly like using her as a therapist in this situation.
Yes.
Also, her fantasy is that one day she'd come out of her brownstone and he would be there pulling up and he would just embrace her and kiss her. And what an incredible fantasy. And I'm like, oh, too much information.
It's so weird.
I know. It ends with Harvey driving his fancy stick shift. Once again, he's alone. He goes straight to Paula's place. He runs up. He's wearing this puffy coat. And he gives her a huge smooch, just like her fantasy.
This is at the end.
At the end of the episode.
After he's really effed it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, after their bad date.
Yeah, it's how we end it. Mm-hmm. Also, it's just, I want to note that the puffy coat is a new look for Harvey.
It is.
We haven't seen this.
No. I would imagine more like wool coat.
I totally thought it'd be a wool coat.
But
at least 3/4, if not all the way to his ankles, because it's cold outside.
Yeah,
so
this was more
cash. Choice. Yeah. Then we see Mike and Harvey. They're back together. Butch and the Sundance Kid. One more time. Cagney and Lacey, you know. Mike is lying in Harvey's soon-to-be office, dreaming of putting a bike rack up on the wall. Neil Stillman is Mike's first case. It's a corporate case. Unfortunately, he is not going to get a pro bono case. And Harvey won't fully relinquish control because he has missed working with him. And he said his relationship changed when Jessica became managing partner. So he wants to do one last case. It's like one last hurrah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to note that right off the bat in this episode, they're incredibly cocky with each other. And like the banter is like, I don't know what's going on. Mike has got a heightened sense of self. That's for sure.
For sure. He hit the bar. You know, he's now a real lawyer.
Yeah, but it's like, he needs to pump the brakes.
He needs some humble pie.
He does need
He
some
needs a
humble
pro
pie.
bono case, maybe.
He does.
But Harvey won't give it to him yet.
No.
Then we see this duo. They're meeting with Neil Stillman.
Who's a dick.
Who is a huge dick. Mm-hmm. And he's like, why'd you bring this kid? Like, don't bring him around. I want you. You've been ghosting me, Harvey Specter. And then Mike guesses that the reason they're having this meeting is because he's selling the vodka portion of his business. Mm-hmm. And it's so that he can buy a Russian company. He won't tell them all the details, though, because they might not be his lawyer in 2 weeks. This is his negotiating tactic to make sure he doesn't keep falling through the cracks.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I guess I get it, but still, he's a dick.
He's such a dick.
So Harvey and Mike are planning this party. And they've got to invite a lot of bidders to the party. So they've got to get a lot of models. Serious bidders are going to show up if there's models and vodka, but the real serious bidders are not going to worry about hitting on the models or even getting drunk. Like, they'll be able to weed them out. So the other people are just going to be fake.
Decoys.
Mm-hmm.
An excuse to have a huge party.
Yeah.
So Mike's in his apartment and he's dressing up super nice. And Rachel's like, oh, are we getting married? I didn't know you're dressed so nice. And then she asks, like, oh, are you getting dressed up for the models and 100 bottles of vodka party? And Mike's like, oh, I should have told you.
I love that she was like, when were you going to tell me? He was like, now, maybe after, or never. And then his behavior is unacceptable.
He seems to keep forgetting to tell Rachel major things.
Yeah, like, I'm going to this huge party. And then the way he acts at this party.
Very disrespectful.
So gross.
Yes. But like how he forgot to tell her that he got a job at the clinic. He didn't tell her that he was a teacher until he was getting dressed.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't tell her about this model party.
Yeah.
But she tells him, like, oh, no, I can't come to the party because Donna and I are going to take Chippendales public. Or Katrina and I are going to take Chippendales public. And then she tells him, like, she might be taking over the associates, but it's a long story, so they'll talk about it later.
Then we see Mike and Harvey on the rooftop at the party. Mike is getting tipsy, and he is loving hanging out with Svetlana and talking about geopolitics. She's a model. And he wants to keep getting drunk and going to talk to her, which is, like, honestly super disrespectful, while we have Harvey over here, who's not actually in a relationship yet, who is holding his liquor and being real cool.
Yeah.
Another point for Harvey, because he's being good, and also he likes pickles. Just from the last episode.
So now we're up to 2. 2 points for Harvey.
There's
plus
so
a lot
many
more
points.
Yeah, Mike's sloppy. Early in the morning, Mike strolls into the office. He's 3 hours late because he is very hungover, but he already says he knows how many real bids they have, and he walks through the percentages of, like, people who were talking, people who were serious, and he's like, we have got 3 bids. And Harvey's like, did Donna tell you? And he goes, that doesn't really matter. Now we got to go bluff these bids.
Yeah. They double booked the conference room with the two bidders who came in over $100 million. And then those two bidders are like, we know what you did. What if we just collude right here in front of you and we come together and we pay the $100 million? They're like, well, the problem is there's another bid that came in even higher. And one of them goes, Axelrod.
Axelrod.
So this is where Amanda got incredibly excited the first time she watched this, because Axelrod is a very specific last name. It is the last name of one Bobby Axelrod, who is the star of Billions. So I thought, is this where Bobby Axelrod's character originated? And literally, because I just finished watching Billions. Did you watch Billions?
No. But I know Daniel Hardman's in Billions.
Yes. So I thought it made sense. I was like, maybe there is some kind of crossover, right? Because Billions came out, like, it started a year or two after this. I was like, oh my gosh, is Axelrod going to be a character that we continue to see?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to say that's how I felt. Because Billions is outstanding.
Is it a billion times better than Suits?
It's different. It's like, it's incredible to hear the way you watch, if you watch Succession.
Only a little bit.
Oh my God. The way they talk to each other, like that family and that money combined is like,
so messed up.
It's so messed up. And just like their lack of awareness of anything. Like, it's kind of like watching that too, though, with Billy, like
kind of like Arrested Development, but serious.
Yeah, just like unbelievable. Did you know they had a wealth consultant on the show Succession who had to tell people like they wouldn't wear that, they would never say that, those people would never even eat there. This is how they would, like, people who are like the ultra wealthy.
Yeah,
like they knew enough about them, but also knowing enough about the ultra wealthy, but still having to get a job as an ultra wealth consultant. To me is like the biggest slap in the face. But like, I know enough about it, but I'm still not one of them.
But I'm not one of them.
Yeah,
I had a substitute teacher named Mrs. Axelrod in high school.
It's a very specific name.
Yeah, she would substitute teach for Spanish. And one time I saw her crying outside the grocery store. And I said, hi, Mrs. Axelrod, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, sweetie, I'll be fine. Anyways, I hope she's doing well.
God, one of her husband went out for cigarettes and never came back.
I think she told me the next time she substituted that she had been in a little car wreck, like a little fender bender.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, so she was okay. But she was like, I'm sorry you had to see me like that, sweetie. So then Harvey strolls into the office and Mike has a big problem because Neil, turns out, has been keeping a huge secret and it could actually wind them all up in a shitload of trouble.
Yes.
So Harvey's like, I can't deal with this secret and it could blow up the sale and then they could get in trouble, because he's like, I got to go see Lewis because all this trouble Lewis is making. But Mike's like, no, you have to go stop Neil. And you can tell Harvey's struggling balancing all these different problems that are happening.
Right.
He's no Jessica Pearson.
Harvey confronts Neil about his vodka company about to be sued for using another company's recipe. Shame on him. Neil is going to fire him if he doesn't let the sale go through, and then the world will know he can't fill Jessica's shoes. He's like, are you in or are you out?
So then Oliver goes to confront Mike in the lobby. He's like, I fought for you. And Mike's like, no, you and I can still work together. This is going to be great. I get to do pro bono work. And Oliver calls him on that. And he goes, tell me what your first case is. You know what? Marissa was right. You were just trying to get back here. Because at least Oliver is holding Mike to account. Because Mike has been very high and mighty about how he's doing all of this for other people. And it's not. It is for narcissist Mike Ross.
Yeah. Mike is cleaning out Harvey's office. He's pissed that Harvey let the sale go through. So he just went in there and started packing shit up. He's like, I got to get this pro bono case, my next pro bono case in before this place doesn't even exist anymore. Mike says it looks like Harvey is afraid and not in charge. And Harvey admits that he's not Jessica. And Mike says, look, you just need to go back to being Harvey, like the Harvey he was when he first met Mike.
Which is interesting because that's when Harvey first hired a fraud.
So we should go back to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should go back before he met Mike.
I know.
Then this whole storyline wraps with Harvey going back to talk to Neil and tell him he actually stopped the sale. They are not going to be taking part in this fraud. And if he gets fired, if Neil fires Harvey, then they're going to put out a press release saying why they had to do that. And Harvey tells him, listen, instead what you're going to do is go into business with the people whose recipe you stole. You're going to have this big, huge public feud over which vodka tastes better, share in the profits as everyone's choosing a team, and you guys have the same exact recipe. And he's like, this is genius. It's like the Coca-Cola Pepsi challenge from the early aughts.
Right. Is that what everybody's doing to us? Because a lot of times McDonald's will or Burger King will pit McDonald's against each other, like, is everybody doing this to us and they're all one company and they're owned by Elon Musk?
I mean, honestly, pretty much there's like 3 companies in the United States.
I know.
So, yeah, probably. I mean, all the TV shows and everything are all owned by the same people, right?
Oh, man. Depo, what things could be pitted against each other where you're like...
Impossible to choose?
Yeah.
It's a great question. I'm going to go food-wise. It would be impossible for me to choose between like a Gouda and a cheddar.
Okay.
How about you?
Coke Zero and Diet Coke.
Oh, are they the same?
They're not the same.
But they taste the same.
They don't taste the same. And I love them both, like my children, individually for different reasons. Mm-hmm. The other thing, red chips versus blue chips.
Yeah.
I love
both
Doritos nacho cheese.
How would
love
you feel
Doritos
if they're
Cool
mixed,
Ranch.
like a purple chip?
Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick, I did have to pick because somebody's going to make me a bag of Cool Ranch Dorito earrings. Okay? Apparently you could take you take a bag of chips after you eat them, the little bag. Mm-hmm. If you put it in the microwave for just the right amount of time before it explodes, it will shrink up before it lights on fire because it is foil.
Yeah.
And
just the right amount of time.
Just the right amount of time. It'll shrink up to like a 1.5 or 2 inch by 2 inch square. And then you could turn it into a keychain or earrings. I found this out at lunch. And so I asked somebody to make me a pair of Cool Ranch Dorito earrings. So I would have to pick, but like it's hard.
But that's more because blue is a better aesthetic.
Blue is a much better aesthetic, I think. But
I would choose red chip on that.
Here's the
But
thing.
not for earrings. I
I'm
would
picking
choose
within the brand. So the brand doesn't give a fuck.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Cheese Nips versus Cheez-Its. One is Keebler and one is Nabisco.
Mm-hmm. I would choose Cheez-Its.
I would too.
Because they got the options.
Yeah, and also the Cheddar Jack is the best one.
Yeah, for sure. Last storyline, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we have Lewis and his associates. Lewis is still grieving this breakup from Tara. Mm-hmm. Gretchen finds him in the copy room, and she's given him all these brochures for the best mudding spots in the Northern Hemisphere. He has not taken a vacation in 9 years, and the last time he did, he ended up going to, was it like Bangladesh? Trying to find his very own Frida Pinto because he had just seen Slumdog Millionaire.
This exchange was so funny.
And Gretchen was like, Frida Pinto probably lives in like London. And he goes, no, not her, my very own. Like, try to find my own. And he's like, I'm not going to be going on vacation because I'm going to be pouring myself and pouring my heartbreak into these new associates. They are my children, and I'm going to love them. Mm-hmm. And she's very proud of him for this. He's happy daddy.
Right.
Lit.
Rachel is looking for Lewis to check in. Gretchen tells her that he's raising his associates and that she's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And Rachel's like, okay, I will too.
Yeah, but that benefit of the doubt was in haste because the very first thing Lewis does is he goes into the pit and he greets everyone with, hello, boys and girls, which feels very demeaning. And then he tells everyone that no one will be shitting, no one will be pissing. And then this one associate, Brian Altman, asks for just 2 days off and Lewis is like, why? And he goes, oh, because I'm going to be a father. And then Lewis has this whole hallucination that everyone is laughing at him and saying, you'll never be a dad. Ha 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 ha. And he's like, no, you can't do that. And he yells at him, says he can't take the weekend off, that he needs to pour himself into it. He tells the associate next to him, like, and it's not your fault that no one ever wants to like date you or make a baby with you. He's horrible.
He's lost it.
He is completely untethered.
Yeah.
This is like old Lewis, but in a pit of nastiness.
Yep.
Also, this associate, Brian Altman, is Craig from Degrassi. I paused. I screamed. I was so excited.
Were you?
I loved Degrassi.
I did not know that he was in Degrassi.
He was. He was Craig, who was kind of a heartthrob. He ended up getting Manny pregnant, and then she had an abortion, which is an episode that only aired in Canada. He also dated Emma, and then he ended up getting a music career and being signed to go away, but he struggled with some mental health issues. He was a main character, heartthrob, very, very formative in my development.
Okay.
He television.
Was also in Designated Survivor.
Look at this guy.
I know. From
Degrassi to Designated.
Yeah.
And suits in between. Mm-hmm. just, ugh. Did you watch? You've never seen Degrassi? Mm-mm. You know, our friend Madison loves Degrassi.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You should talk to her about it.
Okay. Well, I'll have to watch it before I talk to her about it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
There's lots of different seasons of it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll add it to my list.
Generations. It's a teen TV show.
I'll add it to my list.
You'll love it.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I wanted to say about
that. That's great. I'm glad he was there for you. And how it's fun when you recognize, like, oh my God.
I know, and I don't recognize any of these people.
There is another one that is a gasp worthy in this.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I recognize Daddy Brady, and I recognize...
I mean, there's one in the next episode.
The next episode?
Yeah. I'll keep going. Donna is staring out Harvey's office window and sits at his desk when Rachel tells her that Lewis was terrible to the associates. Rachel suggests she takes over the associates before someone else does something to him. And Donna's like, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, she's afraid someone's going to sue him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As they should.
Yeah.
They should totally slap a lawsuit on him.
And they're lawyers,
yes.
so do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting Donna sits at Harvey's desk for this conversation.
I know. Mm-hmm.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
So Donna marches to go see Lewis. She's like, I think Rachel should handle the associates. And Lewis explains pecking order to her. And he's like, here I am at the top. Rachel's here. And oh, if we're going to throw you into it, you're at the very bottom. She's like, you know what? God help the associates if this is how you're treating me. And he seems to kind of hear that, but he's just so angry. He can't hear anything.
It's like, if you're going to treat people that you don't even know like that, how are you treating people that you know?
Yes.
Then we have a subplot, which is probably going to make your skin feel gamey, because this is where we talk about skin in the game.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
Donna's heading to the elevator when Gretchen asks to chat, and Donna's like firing off stuff. And I love what Gretchen says. She goes, will you tell me what's going on before you keep firing your pistol in the wrong direction? Which, God bless, I love Gretchen. Also, Gretchen has the best line of the entire series in the next episode. Best episode, literally.
I don't even remember.
It's the best one. It's the best one.
Okay.
And Gretchen asks what Donna wants, and she's like, I want skin in the game. She's like, well, if you want him to take you seriously, then you better go tear up that check that you gave him. She's like, what check? She's like, you didn't give him the money for a buy-in, for partner? And Donna's like, I didn't think about that.
Right.
It's like, you got to get some skin in the game. And that's what that is. So Donna hands him a boatload of cash, $500,000 to be exact. She's not asking for charity. She wants to be recognized. She wants to be treated as everybody else. And then Lewis yells at Rachel about trying to take the associates. And Donna hears it and goes to call Harvey and says, I need to know right now, am I a partner? Because if I don't step in and do something, then our associates might be suing us, and that's the least of our problems. And you don't even know what I'm talking about, which is true. She knows what's going on. She's running it. And so he's like, fine, you win. You're a partner.
Which I hated that.
I hate the way he said, rather than like, you're right, Donna. I've thought about it. You deserve it. You're a partner. It's just like, not always about what you say, but how you say it, Harvey.
Yeah,
it's like,
you win.
You win. Literally, just don't say that.
Yeah.
Just take that part out.
Right.
You're like, you know what, Donna? You're a partner.
Yes. And that's fine. Yeah. Or, okay, you're a part. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a partner. I did like when Donna was kind of like talking about all the things that are going on and how people are just taking advantage of her. Gretchen was like, well, what did you expect as a corporate secretary? Like, that's the role, is you take on all the baggage for everyone and you need to execute.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was astute, because here Gretchen is this corporate secretary lifer.
Yeah.
And she's very good at her job, just like Donna is. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like, that's the job.
Yep.
So then Donna sees Lewis yelling at Brian Altman, the associate who's going to be a dad, at the elevator. And she confronts him in the bathroom. She tells him, you are off the associates. You cannot be in charge of them anymore. And he goes, like, what authority do you have? And she goes, I'm actually a senior partner now. Harvey joins the conversation in the bathroom, and he defends Donna being a senior partner. Then they take a vote to make Harvey managing partner. It's all very like, here I am. We're doing this in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Then Harvey says, which I thought was hilarious, okay, well, good. I got to go take care of some shit, as he leaves the bathroom. It's like the place that you take care of your shit is in the bathroom.
Yeah. Particularly after her pruning. Mm-hmm. Lewis gives Rachel the associates. He acknowledges he's not in the best headspace and it's better for someone else to take over for a while. And he can't lose Rachel. And she says that he needs closure with Tara.
Which I agree with.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Then Mike is setting up his bookshelf. The way Mike is decorating this office stressed me out. Mm-hmm. It was so sleek with Harvey, and now it's got like bikes and weird books.
Huge pictures of him and Rachel, like engagement pictures that
And,
are
like-
and it's a weird collage. Honestly, he also didn't do things to scale. It's such a big office. Like, you need bigger pieces.
Yes.
And it doesn't, like, some of that stuff doesn't work in there. Like, when he doesn't understand scale, fine, hire somebody.
Right. It looks like his first apartment.
Yes.
Like, that's what it looks like. But this is a serious firm.
Yeah.
Donna comes in and says, I knew you didn't have the balls to fill this space. And she congratulates him. And then he asks if she comes with it because her desk is still outside. She goes, actually, no, I got an office of my own. And he's like, oh, it's about time.
Yeah. Lewis calls Tara and leaves a message asking to see her tonight. Do you think it was Tara?
That he was calling?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you do.
I thought so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I thought he was calling Tara. Do you think he was calling Dr. Lipschitz?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Donna looks out her own office window, and Gretchen stops by to congratulate her, and her office is huge. We've never seen who office is in this office. This is a big, beautiful office, and maybe the biggest of all. And she unpacks the can opener first. Haven't seen that one in a while. Carl's like, you know what we got to do? Shoehorn in something old.
Yeah, wait, whose office was it? Because we've seen Jessica's, we've seen Hardman's, which is now Lewis's. We've seen Harvey's, now Mike's. But whose office was that? The third managing partner from before?
I guess so.
Well,
We're in episode 2.
moving right along.
This is where the best line delivered by Gretchen of the entire show, series happens.
I don't remember it.
A big time surprise guest.
And I don't remember that either.
All right, let's do it before the credits. Maybe your memory will get jogged.
Okay. Before the credits, the opening shot is a bunch of clothes in a pile. And we zoom up, or the camera moves up, and we see that it's Harvey and Paula in his diagonal bed in his apartment.
Yes.
And she was surprised to see him after a year. And he doesn't know that much about her yet.
No. I also just want to point out the continuity of that he drove to her apartment to kiss her on the streets in front of her townhome, and then took her back to the city and said, drop trowel, lady, let's go.
Maybe she was like, ugh, my laundry's all over the floor.
Let's go back to your place. I don't know. Lewis asks Tara for another chance. It's in a practice role play with his therapist, who says that Dr. Lipschitz, who says he can't make bold declarations like this. And he was like, why not? He's like, because if I mess up, I'll just apologize and start over again. He's like, that's your problem. Like, he is so all over the place. Lewis says it's not really about Tara, it's about the baby. And Dr. Lipschitz says it's a good place to pick up the next time. Look, you can have a baby at any time. So he's excited to know that, but then also it's like, clear your schedule. No, I need it.
Yeah. Dr. Lipschitz has earned his money with Lewis Litt.
He has.
And I feel like he's made progress because Lewis has really shown a lot of growth. He just still has these
Snapbacks.
wild moments.
Yes.
So then Mike is meeting with his pro bono case. He finally has one. This client's wife was dropped by insurance because of a Facebook photo of her smoking. She had put that she doesn't smoke anymore because she had quit, but then at a wedding 8 months before she was in a car wreck, she had a cigarette in her hand, and it's a Facebook photo that the insurance used to drop them.
Right.
So even though she did not die because of smoking, she died because of a car wreck. Insurance will not cover any of it. And so now they're going to lose their house. He needs that money from insurance.
Yeah, it's jacked.
And Mike says he will find a way. Even though they always
Can't
say,
stop doing
don't
that.
say
he
that.
needs to go listen to Dr. Lipschitz. Then we hear our favorite song. Then we have a flashback. Harvey and Jessica, 13 years ago, talking about Arthur Reeves, the first name on the firm. And they've got to send a message. And so there's a new sheriff in town. So they're like taking the name off of the wall, like immediately. So it's a nice little flashback.
And they're going to drop
the
biggest client that the other guys had.
Yeah.
Just to stick it to him.
Yep.
Then we have Mike's pro bono case, which we'll talk about first before we talk about literally everything else. So Mike meets with insurance after this meeting with his client to demand $300,000. And insurance is like, oh, no. We're not looking to settle. It's just our policy that we will meet with you. So he goes, okay, well, then we will see you in court. Mike is going to not be going up against this very kind woman. By kind, I mean kind of lame woman in this insurance office. He's actually going to be going against their outside counsel, which is Mr. Ackerman.
Right. I actually wasn't that... I was underwhelmed by Mr. Ackerman, to be
Me
fair.
too.
Like, she made it sound like we're going up against Sean Cahill or Travis Tanner. And, like, we're not.
No.
It's fine.
Ackerman's just pulling out tricks from Rachel's law school.
Yeah, I'll go up against Ackerman. I'm not even scared. I'm a 0-year law student. Her death isn't the issue. It's the contract that she lied, right? So he then decides he's going to bring up Mike Ross's history, meaning he was not a lawyer. He pulls out the fake diploma, the old vertical Harvard diploma.
That was made in Photoshop.
Yep, made in Photoshop. Judge is like, well, if he wants to bring it up during trial, he can, because I do think it's relevant, because they're talking about how it's not relevant.
It's not relevant at all.
No, that judge and Ackerman are playing golf on Sunday. That's why.
Yeah, no judge would allow that.
No,
it makes no sense at all.
Well, let's look at our legal system. So
yeah, that's true. Mike then follows up with Ackerman to see what the actual offer is, because he knows that they're going to always have an offer.
Yeah.
And it's no admission of guilt, and it will be pennies on the dollar for what the insurance would have actually played out.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, that's no good. But he has to present it to his client.
Yeah. He presents it to the client, and then he also tells them about his fraudulent past. And Mike was Harry's last hope. He had gone to 13 other law firms, and everybody said no. So he's like, now you're saying I could lose this? He's like, no, what I'm saying is I won't be the reason that you lose it, which technically he is true. That's true about with what he's about to do, because he's about to ask Rachel to take it over.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I still can't believe that judge allowed it.
I know.
Rachel asks permission to take over the pro bono case from Harvey, and Harvey's like, absolutely not. And she's trying to explain it, but Harvey says, oh, the more you explain it, the more it's a definite no, because Mike can't keep running and he has a plane to catch. So Harvey's off on a plane, and Rachel cannot take over this case.
Harvey is in Chicago when Mike calls to ask why he stopped Rachel, and Harvey tells him to stop apologizing and start attacking. So Mike goes to find a reporter to make him a hero. He's got to figure out a way to win without backing out, and Harvey is tired of people questioning him. So, yeah, This was an interesting exchange.
Yeah. Mike checks in with Rachel, and he's like, whoa, it looks like they're looking for reasons to drop people. So if they're assuming that everyone has something to hide, then that means they're spending a lot of their resources trying to find reasons to drop.
Yeah.
So if we can figure out other cases, and Rachel's like, oh, but that will take so long and they're never going to give it over. But Mike has a way to get it without a subpoena.
Rachel and Mike go to see Miss Cromwell, who we saw from the last season, who is now out of the corporate espionage business. She's actually just a headhunter at this point, and she doesn't give a shit about helping people. She'll do the job, but she demands $50,000, and she wants it up front.
And they're like, how do we know you'll do it?
She's like, you don't, but it looks like you are still standing here, so this is your only option.
Because I guess headhunters don't make as much as corporate spies.
I would think that they don't. Yeah.
So Mike shows Mr. Ackerman this memo on the street detailing a policy of not paying out claims. Basically, like they are, in fact, looking to not pay out any claims, even though that's why people buy insurance.
Yeah.
So it's not going to just be him versus Harry or whatever the client's name is. Yeah. It's going to be him versus a class action.
Yeah.
So he wants $50 million with an admission of guilt. And then he's like, I'm never going to admit guilt. We're never going to do that. And he goes, okay, how about instead of admitting guilt, you can tell the reporter what an incredible attorney I am, and that you were like, thought you could wipe the floor with this fraud lawyer, but turns out he's doing really good work. And as he's turning to walk away, Ackerman's like, I'll leave out the part where you traded admission to say what a great lawyer you are. And Mike turns around and he goes, I am doing this for other people, basically. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for other people. Which
Mike is a saint, right?
Mike Ross is very like high horse animated. And you know what? You've been saying that the whole time we've been recording, but now in these later seasons, it's really evident.
Yeah. So Mike comes back to his office, has a little rendezvous with Rachel. She's sitting there on the credenza waiting for him. And a reporter from the New York Times is coming soon for a redemption of a fraudulent lawyer story. And so she says, you know what? You should do this without me. And part of me was like, I don't think she wants to be in it.
I thought the same thing.
I was like, I don't think her character wants to be in it. I think she's like, nah, dude, you're on your own.
Yeah, I don't really want to be associated with a fraudulent
lawyer. Because I actually have
lawyer.
a degree, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you, but also like, let's keep this separate.
Okay, so then everything else in this story. First, we start Donna setting up her office, and then Katrina stops by, and Donna's like, oh, I know what you're thinking. Like, I shouldn't be a senior partner. And Katrina's like, no, congratulate you. I wasn't thinking that at all. I wasn't thinking about how you were a secretary. I think you look like, you should be here. I think you belong in this spot. But as she turns around, Katrina has this, like, worried, confused look on her face.
Yes. Donna set up Harvey's new office, including the photo of the painting. This is the one we want to be uber meta, but hadn't happened yet. Then she shares a press release announcing her partnership. She's like, this needs to go out to the world. And she's like, are you okay, Harvey? Because I feel like you're not going to pay attention to this. Also, the last time I stopped being your secretary, you had to go see Dr. Agar. So he kind of like does a flinch, but it's like, she didn't say you had to go fuck Dr. Agar. It's you had to go see.
Talk to her.
Talk to her. Talk to her vagina.
Yeah. Let your penis do the talking.
Yeah.
Harvey then goes to visit his friend, Alex, who is from Psych. Is this the guy you're talking about?
Yes. He's also from my favorite show.
West Wing?
This is Charlie.
What?
You haven't gotten far enough in.
No.
We only watched, I think he
2
comes
episodes.
in. I think he comes in episode 3.
Oh my gosh.
You
He's
haven't-
from Psych. And
Yes,
he's
he is
from West
Psych.
Wing.
He is from Psych. Yes.
Okay.
He is Charlie from West Wing.
This is a good cameo. Or
He is
cameo
in
character.
He's Charlie.
He's Charlie.
Wait till you see sweet baby Charlie. Because this 25 years ago, this man 25 years ago is a child.
He's a baby.
He's a baby.
He's so cute. He's his friend.
Whitney gasped.
Because she watches West Wing?
And Psych.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psych was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was a baby then. But he looks the same.
From Psych.
From Psych, not
from West Wing. He's a little bitty baby. Because Elizabeth Moss is in the West Wing.
And she's a little bit of
And she's a little bitty baby.
little bitty babies in the West Wing.
Yes.
So
was Cameron Mike Brady Dennis in the West Wing.
But he was a man.
He was a man baby, though.
Man baby.
Yeah.
Baby man. He has gone to see Alex from Psych and West Wing, Charlie. He is going to be dropping Jessica's oldest client, and he wants to bring Alex in because Alex is the rep for Pfizer, like the attorney for Pfizer.
Yes.
And Alex is like, okay, cool, but I got to be named partner.
Yeah.
Big ask. All these big asks.
Yeah. Harvey talks about making Alex Williams a named partner, and Harvey and Lewis get into a fight about it, and Lewis backs off pretty quickly. Donna kind of rolls her eyes.
That's the partnership meeting.
Yeah. Because it's also dropping Jim Reynolds, Jessica's oldest client, is going to be part of this. Yeah.
The collateral.
This is the scene, Maggie, with Gretchen. Lewis asks Gretchen to ask for help while she's eating her ham sandwich. And he needs help finding dirt on Alex Williams. He's like, there's got to be, and she's like, there's got to be another way to skin the cat. There's a million ways to skin the cat. And he was like, you mean stuff it? Why would you skin it? Cats are so wonderful. And then Gretchen puts her sandwich down and she goes, Lewis, your brain is not right. And it literally gets me every time. Like,
It's so real.
It's so real.
So
and she's just
authentic.
like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm good at my job and I'm going to call you. I'm going to support you, but I'm also going to call you on it. She's like, literally,
Your brain is broken, Lewis.
she's perfect
She is so perfect.
because she supports him and like is going after him to help him 110%, but will also be like, your brain is not right, Lewis.
And it's
what are
not.
you talking about?
It's not, because it is skin a cat. Again with skin, though.
The way she just dropped that sandwich down and said, Lewis, your brain is not right. I have to rewind it every time. And I'm just love her so much.
She says what we're all thinking.
She does.
And then she says there's got to be another way to get Pfizer.
Yes.
Without bringing Alex Williams in.
Yes.
Donna goes separately to talk to Harvey about how she doesn't think it's a good decision to drop Jim Reynolds. And he's like, well, you should have said that in the meeting. And she goes, well, I'm saying it now. And he says, well, if you want a seat at the table, you better have your goddamn balls to say your piece at the goddamn meeting.
Yeah.
Which is also true. Donna does. If she wants to be at the table, she's got to speak up at the table.
Mm-hmm. Harvey picks up a call from Alex. He's wondering why PSL called Pfizer because he shouldn't have been doing that. Like, why are you poaching? And Harvey's super pissed because it was not him and he knows who it was.
Mm-hmm.
He yells at Lewis. Yeah.
So he goes and he's screaming at him about poaching Pfizer. And then Lewis is like, no. I just don't want to water down the name of the firm. And Harvey's like, actually, you're afraid and you're jealous. And Lewis says, well, you know what? The bylaws say you either need my approval or Jessica's vote. So it's kind of a moot point because you can't actually bring him in.
Yeah.
So he kind of lays the hammer with the bylaws.
And then basically Harvey's like, hold my beer. Because then he goes and flies to meet Jessica. And they're standing by the waterfront out in Chicago. Lewis had already called her. And she understands wanting to make a statement, but he can't rush into it. She's like, you can't just give out name partner like it's Halloween candy. To which I would say, I think it depends on what kind of Halloween candy it is. You know, like, is it the off-brand or is it like, hey, we're known for our candy kind of candy?
Right. Also, do we not remember Jessica just changing the names on the walls every season?
Yes. She says, take my name off of this wall and do whatever you want with your goddamn firm. If that's how it's going to be. Ooh, she says that, and in that stunning outfit.
She looks stunning with the fur.
I don't have a reason to dress like that, but I want one.
Yeah. I know. She makes it look so good. Okay, while Harvey is on his way home, he picks up a call from Paula, and she is going to need to reschedule dinner. And you can tell Harvey's kind of spiraling, right? He's got all these people aren't listening to him. He's trying to make these decisions. He's trying to move stuff forward. And she says, you know what? You can tell me what's going on. I just won't be listening as your therapist. I'll be listening as your non-therapist.
Right.
And he goes, you know what? I actually don't need to do that. Just hearing your voice and talking to you has helped me realize how I can work through this. So I was glad that he didn't
A little self-soothing.
Self-soothing. She did a good job with him the first go around.
Yeah. Lewis is back with Dr. Lipschitz, and he affirms Lewis's jealousy. Lewis is scared of losing his friend. So Dr. Lipschitz says he can't keep letting his emotions dictate his actions or he will drive people away. Dr. Lipschitz is a good therapist. Whitney noted this as somebody who has
been a therapist
and is one and has a doctorate of psychology. She's like, this is what he should be doing. And not Dr. Agar is not right.
Yeah, I noticed that Dr. Lipschitz isn't trying to bait him into a poker game or sleep with him.
That's true.
So those are two things that he's doing, I think, much better than the other therapist that's portrayed here.
Yeah, where has he been?
Yeah, I like Dr. Lipschitz.
Yeah.
Then we see Katrina, and she's just going to talk to Harvey about her personal track to senior partner. She's worried that being a partner here at PSL won't mean as much as it used to because they've let Donna be a senior partner.
Yeah.
And she's just saying her piece. She goes, I love Donna. I think she does so much for this firm. And also, it has consequences outside of the walls of this firm.
Yeah. Harvey goes to see Alex to tell him the deal's off the table. And Alex is like, hey, this is the second time you've done this. But Alex still takes the offer because he was never really going to be named partner. And so he's still going to take it and go work with him. And he's like, I'll see you on Monday.
So Lewis then calmly explains his position to Harvey. He doesn't want his behavior to drive a wedge between them. He cites a basketball analogy. And he stayed up all night working on that. And he ends it with saying, and then they won like 2 Super Bowls, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
Harvey says, listen, you don't even have to worry about it because Alex is not going to be a named partner. You were right, Lewis. So it was great. Everyone's listening. Everyone's doing growth. Everyone's self-reflecting. It's what we
also
love
like
to
back
see.
and forth all the time has got to be exhausting.
Yes.
Harvey knocks on Donna's office to tell her she can't be named partner. And because she's not a lawyer. He wrote up a new release and was going to call her director of personnel, which is a big slap, I think. Like,
huge
come
slap.
on, give her VP or something.
Yes.
So she goes, keep my buy-in and make me COO, because 4 of the 9 COOs in the biggest firms in the world are not attorneys. And she'll keep her vote, and it's a take it or leave it. And he was like, okay, how'd you know that? She's like, because I knew you might do this. And so I did my research. Because she's Donna.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. A COO actually could be an appropriate title for her. I think it's a big jump to go from corporate secretary to COO, maybe VP of operations. Give her 6 months probationary period. We know she's going to get it, but it looks a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
Because it also looks like a little bit of a panic to be like, it's good that it's just her going to COO and then bringing over another partner, right? As opposed to, we have a new senior partner, right? We have another name partner.
It's
and we
good
have
they
this.
didn't
Then we
do
take
all
Jessica's
the press
name, all
releases.
of that, and then Jessica's name. It's like, what's happening over there?
Right. But they haven't announced any of this outside. It's all inside mess.
Doesn't mean that hot goss isn't getting out, you know?
That's true.
So she takes it. She gets to be the COO.
The very last scene, we see Harvey. He calls Jessica. He apologizes. She also apologizes. And she knew what he was doing. She knew that he was just tearing down the statue like she had told him in the flashback. But she didn't like it because she's the statue. And so that's why she had that reaction to it.
Right.
And he tells her, we're still dropping Jim Reynolds. And she says, you're ready to be managing partner.
Yep.
Great mentee.
Mentor. All right. It's been kind of a whirlwind. And I think sometimes whenever I'm overwhelmed with lots of changes, I just need to get away.
Me too. Somewhere familiar but different.
Yeah.
Like a season 7 version of it.
Yeah. What were you thinking?
Prediction down.
I think let's just get on this train. That's us getting off of it.
Yeah.
They got new doors in season 7.
Okay, here's what I think. I think Alex Williams, who I recognized from Psych and you recognized from West Wing, I think he's going to solve some crimes and he's going to pretend to be a psychic.
And I think he's going to be also an integral part in the administration.
Yeah, I think he's going to get very political. I think Oliver is going to end up facing Mike in court somehow. Not entirely sure where that works out, but I think that there's going to be some sort of face-off, and maybe Oliver does a really good job because he's so mad. Then I think that it could be about time for a Travis Tanner comeback.
Swoon.
Now that Harvey is managing partner, that feels like some great bait to get that Travis Tanner coming in.
Okay.
Or just like cause some chaos, because now it seems like they're on good footing, and we know he is an agent of chaos. Speaking of Boston folks, because Travis Tanner used to be a Bostonite, I think Sheila Saz should come back now that Lewis is a new man. I think maybe she'll get pregnant on a one-night stand.
Okay.
It's going to be wild.
Okay.
She doesn't want it, but, we'll see. I also don't think it will work out with Paula and Harvey.
Okay.
I think this is such a stinking messy mess. What are you doing? What is she doing? What is he doing? I don't think this is good. I think that the news article about Mike is not going to be glowing. And I think that Mike will be pissed. He thinks it's going to be like, I'm a rising star, because he has this one view of himself. And I think it'll call out some hypocrisy. Maybe they interview Oliver, interview Nathan, and they say he's kind of a piece of shit still. Maybe Mike and Alex don't hit it off. So when Alex comes to the firm, I'm wondering if Mike will question his position, and maybe there's something else going on, because Alex has a longer history with Harvey. They're close enough friends that Harvey sought him out to bring him into the firm and was willing to make him named partner. So I'm wondering if there will be some tension there.
All good predictions.
Thank you.
We'll see how it goes when you have to reveal this at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I can't confirm or deny, but I do know.
Okay. Thank you for not confirming or denying.
I'm not going to confirm or deny because that's what I do. I also won't be able to confirm or deny what's going to happen on Suits LA.
Me either.
Which I'm so excited about.
Thank you for everyone who joined us last night watching Suits LA. Listen to the episode that will be dropping later this week as we recap it in case you missed it. It's up on our YouTube page, the whole live recording.
Yep.
But wow.
Yep. Not what we were expecting, but we really didn't know what to expect.
Better? Worse? I don't know. You're going to have to
go watch the
listen.
episode. Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can find everything you'd like to know about Only Suits Fans at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, which is also where you can catch us recapping Suits LA every Sunday night, just 30 minutes after it ends. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know how to start a review, you could start it with, their brains are broken. In a good way.
Your brain ain't right.
Wait, let me do that again.
Yeah.
You can start with, their brains ain't right. In a good way.
That's true.
It is true.
All right, we'll stop it. So I want to